This is a video about how to conduct a proper research study. You often need institutional approval. This can come in two different ways. Animal testing is an area where institutional approval is definitely required. There are many different qualifications that a researcher must adhere to. The governing body that oversees animal testing is called the Institutional Animal Care and Use Committee. The standards set by the IACUC. These standards cover a wide array of how animals can be experimented on. The standards are as follows. If the researcher plans to perform experiments on an animal, they must aim to minimize the pain and discomfort. If any drugs are used in the experiment, to minimize pain and discomfort when the pain is more than just momentary. If surgery is required, special care should be taken in both pre-op and post-op care. In cases of euthanasia, they must follow the current standards. If all requirements are met by the IACUC, they will approve the research. However, if it doesn't meet the standards, the study must be revised and corrected in order to perform the research. Once all this is done and the board approves the study, then you can begin the process of data collection. The other type of institutional approval is human testing. Human testing approaches the matter a little differently. The IRB ensures that human beings are treated appropriately and that no harm comes to the participants. Also, one of the most important things is that the human research subject must be informed of give conformed consent. Also, the IRB ensures that participants will not be hurt. However, in some cases, such as taking a pharmaceutical, that they have to weigh the pros and cons. If the IRB decides that the research can provide great benefit, they weigh the cost against the human participants' risk. The vice versa could be true as well. The decision of the IRB is absolute and must be followed. One of the things a researcher can do to determine the feasibility of a study is to perform a pilot study. A pilot study is a small study that can help determine time, cost, and adverse effects. A pilot study can also help further the researcher's study by showing potential flaws in it. Informed consent when dealing with human beings is a slippery slope. However, there are extraordinary cases where the IRB will waive consent. Getting informed consent is where you supply the participants all the steps and procedures, and in some circumstances, medications that they take. They need to know what the study is for, where the research will be conducted, the length of the study, and when they are supposed to be experimented on. The researcher should identify any pros gained from the experiment and possible cons. In some scenarios, the participant will be given questionnaires. They should be informed that how these questionnaires shall be used afterwards. If they wish to not answer any questions, they don't have to if they don't feel comfortable with it. Sometimes in research studies, a monetary value is paid to the participant. Participants can leave the study at any time they wish. Lastly, the participant must be informed on how data from the experiment is gathered and kept secure. When the research has been completed, the next part is data collection. Data collection should be considered very carefully and follow the procedures set forth by the study. If the process is handled incorrectly, you run the risk of contaminating the data and making the whole study invalid. A sample size of a study is determined by a few different factors. For example, a single case study would only require one participant. In a multi-participant design, you need to select enough people to participate, but not so many that the data is skewed. Many, if not most, of the studies use instruments such as computers, flashcards, and other different apparatuses. The computer can precisely control how long or how short a process should be. Flashcards could be used for recall purposes, for example. When undertaking a study, you need to outline the proper methods and processes used in the experiment. When designing an experiment, the order of operations should be able to flow from one stage to the next. This will greatly help in conducting a successful experiment. This is how to conduct a research study as best as you can. Thank you.